it's Carly and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my August wrap-up. I read a total of 14 books I want to say for this month, which is actually really fucking good because I have not been reading. As you all have known, I've made plenty of videos of me talking about how much I've not been reading. I do actually have a reading vlog where I read a good portion of these books that I'll be talking about. If you want to go see that, I do kind of talk a little bit more in depth about them in that vlog. So I'm kind of not going to waste you guys' time today and just trying to get into the video. My cat is in the room with me right now, so he's just being really cute laying on the floor. I'm also filming in my Depop room, so if you guys like this setup a little bit better than me filming up in my room, let me know down below because I can definitely film down here instead of upstairs because it does look a lot better and it's a little bit better of a aesthetically pleasing background. So I'm just going to run over my stats for a second about what I read for this month. As I said, I read 14 books. I actually finished one today, which today is September 1st. So, but I'm still counting it because I started it yesterday, which is August 31st. So I already finished it, so I'm just going to count it. I read 2 2-star books, 4 3-star books, 4 4-star books, 1 4.5 stars, and 2 5 stars. I read a total of 4,479 pages. The book that I completed today is not included in any of those stats, so just kind of ignore that one. It doesn't really belong in the stats anyway. It was kind of whatever kind of book, so we're just gonna go from the books that I started in the beginning of the month and just go from there. So the first book that I read this month was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I gave this a 3 stars. It was definitely not my favorite Colleen Hoover. Like I said in one of my reading vlogs, I definitely feel like xoxo should be writing thrillers instead of romance. That's just my unpopular opinion because I just like her thriller writings more than her romances. This was kind of lackluster. I just didn't really vibe with the characters. It's about these two people who kind of have like a friends with benefits, and the main girl character is starting to fall for the guy character, and he's just kind of like very standoffish and is like won't give her reasoning why they can't be together, and it's because we find out he has a really bad past with dating. It just wasn't one of my favorites. Obviously, I did listen to all these on audiobooks, so I'm just gonna fucking say that now because I listen to all these on audio. That's all I do. I listen to audiobooks, okay? That was my first Colleen Hoover for the month. My second was Maybe Someday, which was a really big mistake on my part. I gave it a 2 stars, okay? I kind of figured I wasn't gonna like it just because of the cover and just it really gave 2015 Tumblr vibes. So I gave this a 2 stars, and it just was again just really lackluster in Colleen Hoover's like older books. In my opinion, I feel like her like newer books for romance and thrillers have been a lot better, so just kind of take what I'm saying with a grain of salt because again these are just my opinions. I know these are like really popular books now, especially because Colleen Hoover has like taken over the world of TikTok and BookTok and all of that stuff, so I decided to give her a try just because she has become really popular and she's just never a romance author that I really ever read from. But Maybe Someday is about this girl who finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her with her best friend, who they're also best friends too. A sus situation all around. And so she ends up moving in with this guy that she watches play guitar across her street or whatever in the same apartment complex, and like lives with him, and he's deaf, and so there's a lot of complications around that and them having to learn how to communicate that way, but also just the fact that he also is in a relationship, so there's a little bit of like cheating that still is going on between her and him, and just it's a mess. The whole book is a mess. I'm not continuing on the series if that obviously wasn't enough notice because of my 2 star, but yeah, it just wasn't it for me. Now, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 books that I read was actually a series, and that is Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. So I read The Deal, I gave it 4 stars. I read The Mistake and gave it 3. I gave The Score 4, The Goal 4, and that's it. So I haven't started with the second spin-off series yet, which is like the Briar U series. I really don't know if I'm going to. I really thought I was going to, but I felt like those books kind of made me slumpy with romance recently because after this, all I've been doing is reading thrillers. Which I'm not really complaining because I've actually found some really good thrillers. I will talk about them soon, but I'm not going to go in depth of each book just because we literally would be here for fucking ever. So overall, I would probably give the series like a 3.5, 4. I definitely feel like I rated the series a little bit higher than I should have, now that I kind of have a chance to like step back from the hype and just kind of see it for my own and just have it let it sit for a little bit. It's definitely not one of the most memorable romances, but it was still really fun and really good, and I liked all the drama, obviously. It follows different characters each book, but you still see the same repetitive characters in each book, so it is really nice to kind of see them all grow and like become like their own person and stuff like that, and to see them all like go after their goals and careers and stuff that they wanted, so that was nice in that aspect. So still not really 100% sure if I will be finishing the Briar U series, but for now, I'm just kind of taking a hiatus. Sorry, it is fucking storming outside like mad right now. So after that, my 7th book that I read for this month was actually one that I have physically right now. And that was Leave the World Behind by Rumen Alam. And I gave this 3 stars. This book was my first book that I started with thrillers for this month. I was actually sent this book by like a book box that I bought on Depop. And so I decided to finally pick it up on audio, obviously. And it was just really weird. It wasn't what I expected, I guess. And going into it, I really didn't know too much. It is about this couple that stays at like this Airbnb for like vacation. First off, this couple just seems very dirty and nasty. I don't know, just the way this author wrote about these characters just made me just dislike them to the fullest extent. Like, I just really found them disgusting and gross, and just, I don't know, I guess it was really realistic in that way, but it's just really too much. So they're staying in this Airbnb, but there's like a citywide blackout, and so the supposed couple that actually owns the Airbnb is coming back from the city to stay in that house because it's safer there, obviously, because they can't be in a city, it's a blackout, all that kind of stuff. And so they're kind of just like having to learn to live together in the Airbnb because the couple is not leaving. Like, if that was me, I probably would have fucking gone home. But just a lot of strange shit happens. I definitely heard a lot of bad things about this book, and I can definitely say it is not one of the best, but it was really creepy and weird. I will just give it that, though. And the next book I actually do have a physical copy of, and that is The Other Misses by Mary Kubica. I think that's how you say her last name. So I never read anything from this author, and I was hearing a lot of things about her because Haley Hughes just uploaded like a reading all of her books, and I kind of wanted to see what she was rating these and what she was thinking of these. And it's kind of funny because we had like the same thoughts on this book, and it just was like really lackluster. I did give this 2 stars, which is like really fucking low. I literally am like blanking kind of on like what it's about. I'm surprised I actually know what all these books are about because I read 13 books in a month and they're all thrillers for the most part. But however, this I really was so excited to go into because I really thought I was going to like it, but I was really mistaken. This is like a domestic thriller, which I found that I really love domestic thrillers this month, and that's like really fun for me, is finding like the thrillers and mysteries that I love. But this is about a couple and their son, I don't really know. They're moving to this city where the main character's guy's sister lived, but she just committed suicide, and now they have to go and take care of her daughter and the houses they were living in. And they're leaving drama in their past town just to go into a new town where there's also drama and another death that occurs. And so I don't know. The plot twist at the end is what made me give it 2 stars instead of like a 1. I think at first I was going to give it like a 3, but I definitely just gave it a 2 because the only part that made me happy was the ending plot twist because I just didn't see it coming. And I guess because I'm still a newbie with thrillers, I didn't catch it or didn't see it coming. But I don't know, the ending and the plot twist was the only good thing about it. However, the rest of the book just kind of took forever to lead up there. It was just very slow, and just now I favorite Mary Kubica. I hope I do end up picking some more of her books up and give her a better chance to redeem herself. However, the next book was actually my first 4.5, and that was Horrid by Katrina Leto. So, guys, I love this cover. I literally want this tattooed somewhere on my damn body. I just love it so much. This is such a strange book. This is my second book by Katrina Leto, and it is actually like my second like 5-star book from her. I think I might have given her first one 4-star. It's just, I love her writing and how like magical it feels and how it just flows effortlessly. Like, it's just amazing. So this is about a mother-daughter duo who is now moving back to the mom's old house. Again, I read a lot of books about creepy old houses, and I don't know what it is, but I just love them. Anything like Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, I really like too. I read that like months ago, like over a year ago. But any book like that or like this, it has to do with like creepy houses and like paranormal stuff. I just love that because it's hi Bookie, just because it's like so realistic. Anyway, this is about a mother and daughter who are moving across the country to go live in her mom's old house because her father recently died, as in daughter's father recently died, her husband. And so they are living at the mom's old house, and there's just a lot of like bad juju, I guess you could say, about the house. Like, a lot of people in the town like know not to go near the house, and like it's just a bad place to go. And you just kind of like learn the history of what happened to the house to make it so bad, and you get to meet characters that are just like assholes in the whole thing. And I just really like the main characters. They were really like fun and entertaining, and the main character has a thing where she eats pages of her books. It supposedly makes her feel happy or full. There's just so much like magical elements to this, and I feel like a lot of things that are a little bit deeper meaning behind in her books, and I just love it. So this is a really good read. I'm really happy that I have a physical copy of this now because it was definitely one of my new favorite reads, and I could not recommend this book more. We are down to book number 10, so we're getting there. So the next book that I read was actually my first 5 stars a month, and this is gonna be a shocker. Verity by Colleen Hoover. Yeah, I gave this a 5 stars, okay? Like, I literally am still thinking about this book every single day of my life, and I just fucking love this book so much. I definitely need a copy of this. So if you guys don't know what this is about, it's about a writer who's kind of like a low-key author who doesn't really have much publicity or, like, you know, fans. And so she is asked to write for this really famous author who is just in a really bad car accident, and she has to go, like, live in their house with the old author who is kind of like comatose and like in a coma and like not responsive, but she's like brain dead, but she's like still there being taken care of by like a nurse, and she has a son and a husband. And so the author that's coming to live there gets really close to the husband, and she's starting to learn things by going into the author's like office and like reading through like a manuscript that really fucking blows shit out of the water, okay? This book was just so fucking crazy, and the ending was good too. Like, the ending really made you just think and make it kind of like your own interpretation of what happened at the end. So that was also really interesting in that way, because I'm just kind of like, what am I supposed to think? Like, I don't know. However, this was a really good Colleen Hoover book in my opinion, because I feel like she's, again, really good at writing thrillers. I read Layla, and that was like my first Colleen Hoover book I ever read by her, and I really enjoyed that. And then I liked Verity. So I don't know what's going on with me, but I just really love thrillers by Colleen Hoover, and I'm hoping that she comes out with more. I really wished Verity was like a series, because man, that book was so fucking good. The next book, which is my last like physical copy that I have, was Heroin by Minnie McGinnis. Okay, so this was like my first Minnie McGinnis book, and this like shocked me. Okay, so I actually gave this 5 stars too. These are my only 5 stars that I had right in a row, which is really shocking, because Verity like kind of made me slumpy and not able to like pick up another book for a little bit, and then I was able to pick this up, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Okay, so it's about this girl and her best friend. They get into a car accident, and she is prescribed oxy, which oxy is a very like addictive, it's not even a street drug really. I mean, I guess you can say it is, but like your doctors, like when you get your wisdom teeth taken out, are literally prescribed it. I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I was prescribed it. I didn't like it, so I'm really glad I didn't take it, because again, it's a really addictive drug. And so she gets addicted to oxy, and she's kind of like having to, you know, go out of her way and like literally find ways to steal money to get the oxy, and find ways to actually get oxy by getting dealers, and shit just goes fucking haywire to the point that they come down to doing heroin themselves, hence the name Heroin. And she has like a group of friends that she makes that are all doing it with her, so it kind of makes it harder for her to stop. And she's all in the meanwhile still playing softball, which I love the aspect of softball. It was really fun. I really want to reread this already. Like, it freaking blew my mind. It felt so real and realistic, and it just was a good view on drugs and just how it fucking ruins people, especially at such a young age. And it's just, the ending killed me. Like, please go read this. I know this is a really old book, but it does not mean it doesn't deserve the hype. Like, this was amazing. The next book that I read was my first Sherry Lapina book, and it was a disappointment. That was A Couple Next Door. I gave it 3 stars. I know I went into it knowing that it wasn't going to be a good book because people already talked down about it, so it's kind of my fault. It's about, what is it even about? So it's about this couple, and their kid goes missing, and so we're literally just seeing from the standpoint of the mom and dad, and them literally suffering, trying to figure out where their kid's at, like who kidnapped the kid, all this kind of stuff, because they go over to their friend's house for a night, and they are checking on the baby like every half hour to an hour, like, because they're like right next door to each other, like the houses with their friends. But there's like a whole plot twist of what actually really went down. I did like that, but it was really weird also. It just felt like it was just kind of lackluster. I don't know. It was good in the way that it entertained me, but it wasn't good enough to, like, you know, give it like a 5 stars and call it my favorite. So, and then second to last book that I read for this month, Don't Worry, We're Almost Done, was Dig by A.S. King. So I've had this on my TBR for a while. I wanted to read it because of Books and Lala. I'm glad I finally did, because I gave this a 4 stars. I just read this not yesterday, but the day before that. And I really don't even know how to feel after reading that. I can't even really comprehend what it was about, besides the fact that it's about all of these kids, how different and unique their stories are and their family. And it also has to do with race mixed in with that, and potato farmers. Just take it with what you will, because I really don't know how else to explain this book. You just kind of have to go into it not really knowing much, just kind of how I did. I kind of went into all these thrillers not really knowing much, and was kind of shocked by what and how they turned out to be. It was just kind of weird, but that's all I can really say about Dig. I just definitely think it's better going in blind, and just taking it for that. Now we're on the last book that I finished today. Technically started yesterday, and that was Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. I don't know. I think I got this recommendation from Haley Hughes again, because I love her fucking videos. She's like our thriller queen here on booktube. I gave this a 3 stars. I I was really distracted when I was reading this book, so I can also blame that on the fact that I didn't really like it as much. Again, this is similar to The Couple Next Door. It's about a kid and his mom. They're out shopping for Christmas presents, and he gets kidnapped and abducted. And she looked away from him for like 4 minutes, whatever, and then he's missing. And so the book I was expecting to go was for them to be looking for her son the entire book. It was just a fucking wild ride. Like, I will say that it was really dramatic, and if you guys really like drama domestic thrillers, this was great for that. But I don't know, just the ending and just how it all played out, it wasn't my favorite, and I just felt like it took too long, and this book was a lot longer than it needed to be. Again, I listened to it in audio, but it just felt like it lagged on for so long when it really didn't need to, you know? So, I don't know. First Jennifer Hillier book, so I don't know if I'll be picking up any of hers again. It's not like I didn't like the writing. The writing was okay. It's just, I don't know, the characters are really dislikable, which I guess is good because it's a thriller and they're bad characters. So I guess she did good in that aspect. But that is literally all the 14 books that I read this month. I'm really happy with the books that I've read and the fact that I've been reading so many thrillers. Like, I've been going through a lot of my TBR as well. Like, I have not given myself like a strict TBR. I'm just kind of like mood reading what I want to. I've also been using my library app so much more. I even got a new library book, library card from one that's closer to where I live now. So I have like 2 library cards on my Libby app, and I'm just like having a great time just listening to all the audiobooks. I'm excited to be reading again. It just feels so fun. And yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and talking your ears off. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big like, subscribe down below, join the family, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.